Hello everyone, it is Sunday. It is May the 4th, and I thought about some people that had contacted me and said they really loved talking about poetry and they loved me talking about poetry, and please continue. Now, I did plan to have a little stack of books here today, but I've been so busy trying to get some things in order here around my house. And I do appreciate you all coming to visit the Peggy Mercer YouTube channel, where I am talking about poetry. And last Sunday I did a Welcome to Poetry Part 1. And right now, today, I'm going to do a little very brief poetry Part 2 and see if I can get you some ideas going about poetry. I know some of you are keeping a notebook and you are writing poetry, and I hope that I'm helping. Now, one thing I did mention last week that is so valuable to a poet is that you must study your formats. You have to have a knowledge of formats, whether you sit down and use a certain format or not. It does pay off for you to have this knowledge in your mind. You can't just say, I'm going to write about some kind of junk and people are going to love it, because that's not what's going to happen. If you set out to write poetry that inspires and uplifts people and improves their lives, they're going to love it so much better. Trust me, this is so true. I know so many poets that have to pay people to include a poem of theirs in a magazine, even if they pay a reading fee. That's called that's a nice scam going around, is paying a reading fee. I'm not real sure I wouldn't charge a reading fee, but certainly you don't want to pay people to include poetry that you write in a magazine or an anthology. This is just not how it's done. If you want to be a best-selling American poet, then, and I have two cats that have jumped up here. Let me show you. They are poetry in the making. This is Smokey right here. Smokey has grown up in this house, and he's a little black boy. He kind of looks like a cinnamon bread loaf, and I just love him so good. But anyway, I'll have a visit from some others, and I hear some other noises going on. Look, this house is full of noises, okay? This house is a poem. And somebody's always writing something. I have written poetry books, and I hope as you begin to write your own poetry and learn about format, you will be able to develop your own style. And the way that you do that is you do that by writing. I know people who say, I have a certain style and I'm not going to change that style for anything. You know what that means? That means you're never going to improve. If you never try anything different, you're not going to improve, and you're not going to get better with your writing of poetry, and you're just going to be stuck in a rut. And one of the cats is rubbing against this music stand. Wait now, Gracie. That's Gracie. She's got babies in there and she's a little bit into everything. Anyway, one of the things that I do want to talk about for just a few minutes, and this is not going to be a long video, you would not believe the stuff I've got going on. I'm writing a new book of poetry, and I'm pretty close to finished with it, and I'm really excited about this book of poetry. And I'm writing a lot of Christian stories, and the last book that I wrote was Prayers from the River of Life. It stays sold out, and it was on 2 bestseller lists on Amazon, which makes me very happy. And how could I want for more to be on a bestseller list? This little book here Big Daddy Island, kumbaya, come by here. I don't know if you realize it, but the word kumbaya means come by here. And the song Kumbaya was written down in Darien, Georgia, and by a descendant of the Geechees. And so, how fitting is all that? And then I live not too far from Jekyll Island and from St. Simon's Island and the marshes and the water and the ocean. It's just all so beautiful down there. I will tell you that the coast of Georgia is just the last frontier in the United States of America. I know there's a couple of movie stars that live down there at Shellman's Bluff, and some other famous people have homes down there. I believe that Greg Allman had a home down there on the river, and I've been by there, and so I do know that because his pool boy told me all about it. Anyway, I want you to know that writing poetry is so rewarding, and once you learn your formats, in one of the last poetry books I wrote called The Faithful Poems of Big Daddy Island, in that I wrote a whole chapter. I believe this is the book, and it's on Amazon, The Faithful Poems of Big Daddy Island. And I wrote a whole chapter using the format called cinquains, and I don't have a copy of that, but I'll have a copy because I've ordered some pretty soon for you, and I'll read some of that to you. Now, I want to mention to you a few books for you to go get you a copy of these books and study them for the stunning use of words, the stunning phrasing. If you folks who are wanting to write great poetry do not read or have never read the books of Paulo Coelho, then you've missed some of the greatest writing that's ever been, as far as I'm concerned. And he's my favorite. He's just so wonderful. Another one, and write that down, Paulo Coelho. I suggest that you read By the River Piedra, I Sat Down and Wept. Or, of course, The Alchemist or The Fifth Mountain. Read some of those fabulous books by Paulo Coelho. And when you come to those just stunning moments in the book, think about how he wrote that. Think about how tight that writing is. Think about the descriptive writing by Paulo Coelho, and it will improve your own writing. You will be thinking, oh my goodness, this is so powerful. One of the other writers that I love her prose and I love her poetry, and how for many, many years I collect the great poets. I don't just collect anybody writing trash. I don't collect anybody. You know who you are. If you're a poet that orders 100 copies of your books and you have to give them away because nobody will buy them, and you actually hear rumors that maybe somebody might have thrown your book in the garbage can, how sad that is. But it's because your poetry is not touching them. It's not inspiring them. They can't access your poetry, and so therefore you always wanting to improve your writing, and the way that you do that is you learn your craft. You study what made Sidney Lanier be able to stand on the marsh there at Jekyll Island, or out on Doughboy Sound, and look back marshward toward the land. What made him be able to write in this beautiful rhythmic poetry, The Marshes of the Glen? What made Daniel Whitehead Hickey be able to write about the mountains in North Georgia? What made Marion Moore write such beautiful poetry? Bertolt Brecht, and I mentioned him, the German poet. What made him be able to write phrases like this? Will there always be singing, and I'm paraphrasing him. I don't remember exactly. I need to get that book out, and I will in my next video. But he wrote a poem called, I believe it was Motto. I'm not looking at it right here, so I can't remember, but it said, will there always be singing? And the answer to that was yes, there will always be singing about the dark times. Will there be singing in the dark times? And the answer is yes, there will be singing about the dark times. If you have never read the poetry of Bertolt Brecht, how do you figure that you're ever going to become a great poetry? Read the great poets. One more for you to read, and you look up this list of books, and I'll read some to you from some of them next time. To get a feel for great poetry. Get a feel for great poetry. Don't write junk. Don't waste your time writing something nobody will read. Don't waste your time writing a book, I hate to tell you, that won't sell. If the book is selling like wildfire on Amazon, which mine do sell like wildfire sometimes, the last book I wrote, Prayers from the River of Life, stays sold out, and it made 2 bestseller lists. Isn't that what you want for your poetry? Then learn your formats, develop your style. The way that you do that is by writing constantly. Write poetry, write poetry. Write on your hand, write on your shirt, write on your shoe. But write these fabulous thoughts that you are having down, and then work them into a poetry. One more poet, prose writer that is so fabulous that I read, and I collect these books. I don't collect all the books I see. I do have a lot of collections, and I'll show those to you on the camera next time. Be sure and read Dr. Phyllis Pincola Estes, E-S-T-E-S. Be sure and read her fabulous prose and poetry book, The Faithful Gardener. You will keep that next to on your bedside table for the rest of your life. I love it. She said in one poem, new seed roots deepest and the places most empty. Is that beautiful or what? Now, I have a little news I wanted to share with you guys. So if you miss me on the YouTube channel, you will know what I'm doing this week. I'm having surgery Thursday to remove cancer from my body. And yes, it's devastating. Yes, it's very upsetting. I want you folks that have reached out to me, you sent me food, you've already sent me everything from your end of it that's not tied down. I love you all. I appreciate you all. What I need more than anything else, I need mighty prayer. I need prayer. This cancer has not spread. They're going to take it all out on Thursday in Valdosta, Georgia, in the hospital there. So please be praying for me. If I don't see you in a week or two, just know that I'm all right. You don't have to worry. I'm a child of God, okay? This is what I told the doctor the other day. If I live through this, and he is a good Christian man, and this is what I told him. I said, if I live through this, I'm good. I'm going to win, and I'm a winner, and I'm going to thrive. If I don't, I'll be dancing down streets of gold. So I'm good either way. And that's what I told the surgeon. I praise God for the opportunity to stop this from growing in me. I thank my Heavenly Father for just keeping His hands on me. Every one of you who have prayed, you know what? We've already had a series of little miracles that have opened the door for me to have this great surgeon operate on me Thursday. I'm excited about it. John Richards will be down here. Some of my girlfriends will be with me. I am so loved. I feel the love. I feel the prayers. Thank you, John and Linda Omler. Thank you, Rhonda Sylvester Mead. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, all of my great friends, Judy, Billy. Thank you for all of your prayers. I need them so much this week. I love you all. Thank you for watching this video. If you can find time, hop over there and click like, because you know what, I don't know if YouTube likes me or not these days, because I don't talk about Trump all the time like I like to do, but I can tell you that my God in heaven does like poetry, and he does love animals like I do, and so we have a lot in common with our Father in heaven, whose children we are. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later. I will get on here and let you know how this goes this week, and it's going to go great. Thank you so much.